welcome back to another episode of Generation Shock. That's right, we've had a couple malfunctions. We came on too early, then we tried to hit live again and it didn't go live. I mean, we're all messed up, but we're here. It's a Wednesday and it's good to see you guys. Without further ado, let's get into that intro.
Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
That's right. We're back on your screens, if you know what I means. It's your boy, the monster on the mic, Check Monster. Anyway, I got the crowd effect. There he goes. All right. Yeah, anyway, as always, I have with me my beautiful co-hosts. I have the guy who's going to have a very bad week in sports this week. It's my boy Messiah. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about that coming up. Okay. And as always, we got the boy in blue. We got your boy Phoenix Born 63. How you doing out there?
Yeah. Much better 5 minutes ago.
Oh yeah. This guy literally, we're prepping for the show, and this guy's literally like, oh damn, what's this algorithm? He's over there hacking into the student database. I hope the school's watching this because he hacked in and changed his grades. So when he has like a 4.5 GPA, even though you can only get a 4.2, you're gonna ask yourselves, how did he do that? Well, because he hacked your shit. Okay, I'm just gonna throw that out.
They're gonna be like, definitely this is a hack if it's a 4.5. If the highest is a 4.2.
Yeah, Miss Natasha, what the heck? Yeah, we don't know what the heck's going on tonight. Okay, we jump on early during our. I was trying to hit record. Okay, so everybody knows. Let me just throw it out there.
Yeah. Go through the backstory.
Yeah, backstory is we always have to do a little test recording because I have issues sometimes with the audio being accurate, right? So we always do a little test recording, make sure the audio's there. We discuss what we're gonna talk about real quick. We go over some things, and I thought I hit the record button, but apparently I might have hit the stream button. And so you guys got a quick little sneak peek in. So those of you who actually tuned in at that exact moment, which might have been Natasha, got to see a little behind the scenes action of the show and what we're doing behind the scenes. I did go on and delete it though, so you'll never get to find it. You're never going to see it again, but it was entertaining for the few minutes we were on there.
And then to add on to it, we're doing the sound test and I'm trying to answer my homework assignment, like to do coding and find some files. And I'm literally looking at the clock and I'm like, yo, I'm not going to make it. And at 9:59, I find my answer. And then Checkmonster's like, so are we going? I was like, no, I got to set up still. Hold up. So that was just another mess in itself.
And then so we're like, oh, it's 10:02. Let's go. So I hit the buttons to start streaming, but I guess because I went for the first stream, the second stream didn't work. So we're over there and they're like, hey, you're not streaming this. I'm like, oh, okay. So we did a whole intro and it is recorded, so we can resend that out. Maybe I don't know if he wants to post it.
Yeah, I use it as a blooper.
Yeah, but we do have a whole intro that we did the first time, and then we had to come back and redo it. So
Yeah, and now we're here.
Yeah, we're always honest and we give effort. That's all we do is effort.
Yeah.
Listen, we might not be very good at it, but we put in a lot of effort behind it. It's kind of like Messiah's sex life,
Yeah, no, I try.
Yeah,
I push as hard
he
as
might
I
not
could.
be good, but he fucking puts in the effort in the bedroom.
Yeah. I'm like, are you happy? Yeah, I kind of.
Yeah, it's like that meme with the farmer. It ain't much, but it's honest work.
Yes, it is. It's a lot of sweat in there. Look at that.
Woo, boy. Oh man. Oof. I mean, at least we know that she your wife could be an actress. She's
she
faking
could
all the time.
Yeah. Oscar nominee, bro.
Oh,
Oscar nominee.
We got to get her an Emmy or some shit.
Yeah.
Right? Oh my goodness. All right, I think that's enough crazy talk. Let's hop into a Monster Week of Sports.
Gotta climb to the top, but we're never gonna stop. When the low, yeah, we going high.
That's right. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like the show and hit that notification bell so you know every time we come on live. Every time that we're here. All right, so it was a Monster Week in sports. So I think everybody knows what the game of the week was, right? What was the game of the week? Let's be honest. What was the game of the week?
The Dallas game?
No, that was definitely not the game of the week. You are so bad at this. So bad. So the game of the week obviously had to be the Los Angeles Rams versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, that was the game, yeah.
You know, two powerhouse teams, and then you have Matt Stafford with his, in my opinion, his first true test of what he may look like going forward with this team.
I was impressed.
And then you got Tom Brady, you know, doing the Brady stuff. And, you know, everybody talked about the possibility of him going for the undefeated season and all this stuff. And they went out, and it was a hard-fought game.
Only with the Pats, bro.
Hard-fought game, but at the end of the day, you know, the Rams, they took it. And they had some nice plays, man. That deep ball to Deshaun Jackson. Oh my goodness, that deep ball to Deshaun Jackson, he ran so fast. And first of all, this guy's like 40 years old. I mean, maybe not 40, but Deshaun Jackson is old. He's been through a bunch of injuries. This dude's outrunning guys literally half his age, right? 23, 24-year-olds, and he's burning by them down the field. He catches this pass, and he was going so fast and so crazy, he started running out of the stadium. And it's so funny because why this is going on, you see the head coach running down the sidelines, chasing him. Right. And so his coach is chasing him down the sidelines and meets him in the tunnel to congratulate him on that play. Just amazing energy. It was a really good game. Very, very cool. There was some other big stuff that happened, though, out there in the NFL. We had a record-setting weekend. What I mean by that is we had the longest field goal made in the history of the NFL.
Oh yeah,
bro, that game, that was crazy.
Yeah. So the Baltimore Ravens and the kicker Justin Tucker, he's been known to be able to hit some bombers before, but they got the ball down. It was a 66-yard field goal, and this dude puts it up, and it literally hits the crossbar like boop and goes the right way. It could have went any direction. Just happened to flip in and flip for a record-setting 66-yard field goal. So that was pretty amazing. And
that's insane.
What's even funnier, though, is in the Arizona-Jacksonville game, right? Arizona thought it'd be cool to try to go for the record-setting field goal, and they kick a 68-yard field goal. You know what the difference is, though? So on field goals, people don't know this if they're not into football. You can actually catch the ball and return it if it stays in bounds, right? So the guy kicks a 68-yard field goal, and they put somebody deep in the end zone just in case. This cat catches the ball on literally with his back foot on almost on the white line. So he literally goes the true length of the football field, 109-yard touchdown, returns that shit on that field goal. 68-yard field goal try. Yeah.
So here's a thing, right? I always think about the field goal kickers. How about the punters, right? The punter, I know with field goals about the placement of the ball, it's all about accuracy also. But the punters be punting like almost. Actually, they punt the whole length of the field. Why don't they put those guys to kick the field goal?
It's a different style of kicking. Some of them can do it, but it's a different style. So that's why they're usually two separate guys, because the form and the practice of what you're doing to be good at your craft, you're practicing one thing versus two. That's usually speaking of
I've always thought about that because those guys can kick.
Well, speaking of kickers and stuff, first of all, now they're on a hiatus for the next 3 weeks, but have you been watching Monday Night Football on the Manning cast?
No,
dude. First of all, you have to like.
But where is it on? Is it on ESPN?
ESPN2.
Oh, okay.
The best way to watch.
I don't
football,
get out on time for it. That's what it is,
dude. What do you mean? You don't work until 11 o'clock. You're gonna catch some of it.
Is it on the whole day?
Yeah, it's on not the whole day. It's on
the whole game. I think the whole game.
They do a simulcast.
So then I gotta catch it. Okay.
So it's not going to be on for another 3 weeks. They took a 3-week hiatus. So it's Eli and Peyton doing this Manning cast, and dude, it is absolutely incredible. First of all, it's not like a normal broadcast. So they're not announcing the game. They're literally sitting there like we do, talking about the game though. And so you see Peyton talking about plays and Eli talking about plays. They're taking shots at each other. They're taking digs at each other and shit, right? And then you got they have guests come on. So every quarter they have a guest. They had Rob Gronkowski come on, and that's where all the controversy came out when he told Peyton he doesn't watch film. And then he had to send a tweet back out saying that he actually does watch film. His girlfriend gets mad at him because all the film he watches, because there's a big backlash about it. Hilarious. Yeah. They had LeBron James on, and LeBron James was like, they have all these different people on. The reason I brought it up, though, because you talk about the punter, number one. Number two, if you haven't seen the Manning cast, go watch it. It's incredible. Eli Manning last week, let me just throw this out there. Eli Manning last week was having a conversation with, I forget who it was exactly who was on the show that he was talking about, but they were talking about his experience in Philly. And so he's literally going around talking about how when he gets to the stadium, there's 8-year-old kids who flick him off, right? And Eli Manning on live television for the whole nation to see literally goes like this and goes, well, can I just do it? And flicks off the entire nation.
No way.
Bird.
Damn.
Double
on ESPN?
bird on ESPN in the Manning
No
cast.
way.
Double birded.
That's why they go on hiatus for 3 weeks.
Oh my goodness. Double bird flicked everybody in the nation off. Hilarious, man. It is so good. It's so well done. Omaha Productions is their company, and I love it. Dude, they had Archie.
That's cool.
So Eli Manning this weekend had his jersey retired. So Archie,
Yep.
which is his dad, for those who don't follow sports, who is also a really, really good quarterback for the Saints, is staying with Eli this weekend because he wanted to be at the ceremony. And so they have a little clip of halftime, and Peyton's over there eating food, stuffing his mouth, and Archie's sitting on the couch next to Eli, and Archie's talking trash to Peyton about his bad habits and his dirty shirt and stuff like that. And dude, it is just absolutely hilarious. And then so Eli's like, yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I know how dad comes to visit you. He goes, yeah, well, maybe I let dad stay with me. Maybe if dad wasn't staying in a hotel when he comes to see you, that, you know,
Wow.
like, dude, it's just,
Damn.
dude, it's hilarious because so Eli's like talking shit
They're
about
brothers.
Peyton's head and how his head's too big to fit in because the first episode they did, he tried to put on a Baltimore Ravens helmet, but his head couldn't fit in it. So like there was a picture of a guy at the Dallas game who had this really big, weird helmet. And so Eli's like, yeah, that might fit you. Dude, it's fucking hilarious. It's great. But Pat McAfee, do you guys, Lewis or Mazai, do you know who Pat McAfee is?
I've heard the name, but I don't know.
Well, he does a really, really good YouTube broadcast. It's also on Sirius XM talk show. It's 3 hours a week, 3 hours every day, Monday through Friday, and he has Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays. And that's what's kind of really helped it be famous is Aaron Rodgers comes on every Tuesday regardless and talks with him about stuff, right? And he's actually really funny.
Must be nice.
Nate, you should know who Pat McAfee is.
Why?
Yeah, the name rings a bell.
Because
Isn't he
he's
like
an
a wrestler
announcer
broadcaster?
in wrestling.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
very
yeah.
big into wrestling. He goes to events. He takes part in events. He has announced matches and stuff. Like he's a huge part of the wrestling world. And he does a really good job, really good show. But he was on the show because Eli went on his show earlier the day on that Monday, and then he came on the show that night. And literally, it's hilarious because you're talking about punters. So Pat McAfee was a punter for the Indianapolis Colts. So he's friends with Peyton.
Okay.
Right. And he's literally on the show and he's just like, Peyton, just because Peyton, first of all, if you watch this, Peyton hates punts. He can't stand them. He's a quarterback. Like if the punter gets on the field,
he made a comment that he made a comment once because they lost the game because of the punter.
Yeah.
He made a big comment that he was like, that's why I don't rely on them. And this, he expects to win the game himself.
Yeah. So
until he got Vinatieri.
Yeah. Well, Vinatieri's a kicker. He's not a punter.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I guess he was talking about the kicker.
Okay.
Not
But
the punter.
we're talking about punters here.
All right, but I just decided to bring up kickers for some reason.
Yeah, you like to change it up. Anyway, so literally Pat McAfee sat on the show and forced Peyton to comment on a punt during the show because Peyton refuses to talk about anything to do with punting. And it was so hilarious watching Peyton cringe to be like, yeah, it was a good punt. Okay, sure. Great punt, guys. Like, dude, hilarious. Just
I gotta watch it.
Oh my goodness. It comes back
That's
on in
funny.
3 weeks. It's really,
But they must have
really
at
good
least
stuff.
the O2 has to be already recorded already.
Yes.
Speaking
you
of
can
that,
watch YouTube stuff on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I was watching since you brought out LeBron James, I was watching a Barbershop. I'm almost caught up.
Dude, very good series. Very
It
good.
is.
I watched that shit. The one with Will Smith where he talked about his thing with the Matrix, right? And passing up on that role. Then they have some other one. Like, it's a really, really good show. I watched a lot of episodes. The only one I didn't really watch the whole thing of was the Obama one. But I watched.
That's my next one. That's the one I'm gonna.
That one
watch.
was kind of got boring, so I skipped that one. But the other ones, the insight, the stories they tell, they were talking about he had Martin Lawrence on there with Will Smith because they were promoting the new Bad Boy movie that was coming out at the time, Bad Boys Forever or whatever it was. So like that's a really well done show too. Yeah.
So back into sports.
Phoenix. So real quick, let's bring up. Let's give a preview of the week coming up. There's only one game I really want to highlight on real quick. Brady comes back to New England. What do you think?
It's bro, like it's emotional to me. especially the promos right now, they use the song from Adele,
Yeah.
"See You from the Other Side." That
See
great
you from
promo,
the other side. No,
great
definitely shouldn't do
promo on
those
that.
music.
Like
Yeah.
that's a great promo. If you ever get to watch that, watch it, and then the way they clip the videos and everything, and they put him against Belichick, and then because it starts off saying hello, the song, right? However the song goes, and then as soon as it goes, "See you from the other side," they switch his jersey. The clip transition to the Tampa jersey, bro. Goosebumps, bro. I was like,
So,
holy shit!
are you going to be one of
Whoever
those
did
guys?
this, sick.
Are you going to be one of the guys who has the half and half jersey?
Nope, I'm gonna be the guy that still has the Tom Brady Patriots 12 jersey.
Okay. Just curious.
Still.
Okay.
So,
But I was trying to get tickets to that game because I'm on vacation. My vacation ends that weekend.
well, listen, you just take a little bit of investment money, which I won't throw out there to the crowd because that's between us. You just take a small portion.
See,
of that
there's a
investment
return on that though. There's any return.
There's
on
a
that.
no.
That's
See,
the difference.
that's the difference. That's where I think you're wrong. And this is what you have. This is how I sometimes feel people are skewed in life about what they do with their money. The once in a lifetime experience. Do you know that Tom Brady has beaten 31 NFL teams in his career? Did you
No,
know
I didn't know that.
He's
No, I
beaten
didn't know that.
31 teams. If he
Obviously,
goes-
he can't be 32 because he played for Patriots.
But that's my point. If he goes
Yeah.
into Foxborough and wins, you could sit there and say, I was there when he did something that I don't know if that's ever been done.
Bro, he's just doing crazy shit.
Like, I got to go look that up. He might be the first quarterback in history, if he wins this game, to beat every single NFL team.
That's sick.
That'd be insane.
right. Like, you could be
My
at
brother,
that game.
I called my brother. He was telling me, he was like, bro, even if you don't get tickets, even if you think they're expensive, he was telling me the what's it called when you outside, when everybody's outside?
Scalpers. Oh, tailgate.
No. Tailgate. He goes, tailgating alone, you have a blast.
Yeah.
Because I've never been to a game. Never been to like an NFL game. Never.
If I
I've
move back,
been to Celtics games.
Listen,
I've been to Celtics games and all that.
if
but I've never
something
been to an
happens that
NFL
I
game.
move back, we're going to a Tampa game.
Oh, let me take that back. I did go to a New England Patriots and Tampa game. I did. Wifey took me there.
So what
So,
the hell
let
are
me
you
take that
talking
back.
about?
Yeah.
You've never
I
been.
forgot
All right.
that. I
Move
forgot.
on.
I literally forgot
Phoenix,
that
what do you got for
Next,
it? What do you got?
next.
What do you
I
got?
literally forgot that shit, bro.
Phoenix, what you got?
And we
for
went.
us?
It was Patriots versus Tampa.
All right, what do you got? You got any WWF shit for us or anything you want to talk about?
Like very little.
That's fine
only
because
I
we're
had a-
running long
had
anyway,
a
so we can
hectic-
hop right into it. Let's go.
That's fine. Yeah, it was a hectic week, but I like Monday. Wrestling on Monday Night Raw. They started with the championship match, Big E
Okay.
versus Bobby Lashley. So I saw a little bit of it. It was nice action, and really, what surprised me was I was thinking, okay, why are they starting first? That's weird. So then Big E, like he got tossed out the ring, and we lost him.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
okay.
No. Somebody
Oh.
called me. That's what it is. I thought I was on.
Damn,
Oh,
bro.
Mr. Airplane Mode
Yeah,
himself.
this guy.
Wow.
So
Bruh.
first he lies about going to a game, and now he forgets the airplane mode, bruh.
Nah, I immediately put that on airplane mode,
Yeah,
bro.
just forget it. We're done. Good night, everybody.
Bruh.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't expect nobody to call me at this time.
Oh my goodness.
But basically,
But go ahead.
No, yeah. So Big E, he got thrown out, and Bobby Lashley used to be part of a faction called the Hurt Business that's ran by MVP, an older wrestler, and
Yeah.
they broke up a few months back. So then the group comes back in, and all you see is Big E just like, what? Like, what the fuck? I thought y'all were gone. So then Big E's old group, the New Day, well, still technically the same group, they all just rushed in and just started beating each other up. So then the match got, DQ'd. So then I was like, damn, like that's really how we're gonna end this match? And then, I'm watching the show and I'm like, why is there a steel cage in the air? Oh, that's where we're going. So then they had a rematch inside the steel cage. And then I believe Big E won. I didn't get to see the whole thing because like I had to step out for a second. But I liked how they did that story because now they're introducing the two groups, and those two groups, you can do stuff with them. It's not just one and one. They have beef, they have history. Like it's a good story so far. I just hope WWE doesn't ruin it. Please.
Okay.
That's all I got.
All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop into our topic. Just so everybody knows, It's going to be a little bit about, are we too reliant on technology? But in order to do so, we accidentally stepped on this topic a little bit last week. So what we decided to do is we want to catch up our dedicated viewers, Natasha, Sheridan. By the way, Sheridan, don't be typing shit like that. You'll get banned. No, go Patriots. I'm kidding. You won't be banned.
Go Patriots.
But don't be putting that shit. You won't get banned. But anyway, we're going to give you a little recap real quick, a real 2-minute recap of last week. I put that out there because people are gonna be like, wait, that just looks weird. They just jumped into the middle of a topic. But no, it's last week's clip. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's hop into that and let's do a little recap and then we can start it off.
The question, if this generation is going to be considered lazy, well, why is it that the old generation doesn't want to adapt? Because if you don't want to adapt, then the new generation is going to find a way to take those resources. And it does sound fucked up, but that's how it's going to be. And then once we get to the next 40 years of the next generation, then we're going to say, okay, well, now you're lazy. But in reality, they're trying to find a way to progress the world further without using other resources, without damaging the planet.
So everything you say is 100% correct. And I'm going to end this on this, though. What you're also saying, though, is you're creating WALL-E, the movie WALL-E.
Okay.
That's what's happening.
Well, laziness has nothing to do. Then it goes to
hold on.
The
Don't
point
say it because I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead though.
No. The point you use when you use WALL-E, what are you talking about exactly?
As the more advanced we get with technology, the more the human race becomes reliant on it, and the lazier we become as a human population.
But how? Okay, see that's I figured it was gonna be that. We'll save that for a different day because it's a big
episode.
topic. I get that a lot at work. Where at work people was like, technology just makes you lazier, and I'm like, no, it doesn't.
Listen,
you choose to be lazy. Technology is supposed
topics,
to it's improving your. It's designed to make your life easier and better, so you can focus on what you really have to do. You choose not to do the exercise. That's not technology's fault. And then my next question is, did you arrive here in a car or did you arrive here in a horse? Because you're using technology. It's just a different era.
Yes. Okay. Let's not get into
this. So how is that making you lazy?
Hold on.
But that's a different topic for a different day.
Yeah. That was supposed to be our second topic. Are we too reliant on technology?
Yes.
But we didn't get into it today. We will pick it up next week. I promise everybody we'll do a continuation. Messiah, what you just said, though, make sure you save that for next week.
I will.
Because I want to argue that. But I don't want to get into it because I want to wrap it up.
Okay.
No
FOH here? No FOH today?
I'm not trying to have no YouTube. All right, so Mazai didn't do a great job editing that.
I was like, what? Damn, how long is that? Did I do that clip?
Yeah. First of all, he didn't do a great job editing that. He started he left the part in where we started talking about FOH, and the first half had nothing to do with I
thought you was gonna fix it. I just sent you the piece. I thought you was gonna clip it even more.
But that's not my job. My job is to put it up.
I know.
Mr. Oh,
I fucked that up.
This guy refuses to make thumbnails because it's not creative enough for him. Let's fuck out of here. That's gonna be my fuck out of here. Jesus. So basically, just so you guys catch up on what we were talking about, we started to bring up about technology being lazy because it started with the whole lazy thing, and then Mazai made a comment about horses and cars and stuff. So I don't know if you want to retouch on that a little bit, and go back on to what you were thinking.
Well, the point I was trying to make is because when I don't like the fact that people use. I hear it a lot, right? Especially from my generation, and then the people older than me too, the generation before me. They always say, "Oh, this technology just makes you lazy," and I'm like, "That's bullshit. I don't think it does. It's designed to make life easier. A person chooses to be lazy. That's not the technology's fault, right? It's supposed to so you can do more time. You can have more time to do your own thing that you want to focus on." Then do the other stuff, right? That's the way I look at it. Technology is to enhance life, enhance your life, right? For better.
And the
example I always use is, you how did you get here, right? You got here in a car. That's a technology. Does that mean you're lazy? No, it's just, it's just a piece of technology you use. Does it make you lazy? No. And so I just don't like that.
So there's a line so you got to be careful when you're saying that, because what it is there's two types of technology, right? There's technology that you're talking about that is designed to make our life easier and better, right?
Yes.
A car, I agree, right? That is designed to make your life easier and better. You can get places faster, you can travel, you can cover distances, stuff like that. But then there's the other technology that is
Like?
not like video games. What purpose to make your life better does a video game have?
Well,
It helps you. It
isn't
helps
that-
you focus. It helps you. Sorry, go ahead, Nate. I'm sorry.
Very good. I can kind of add on to what you said, Messiah, but a video game is to have fun, so to speak. Yeah, you can quote unquote go professional, but that's a different topic.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah,
Like for me, like I play video games because I don't want to deal with work. I don't want to deal with school. I just want to get away. So
Okay.
I love racing games, and I can't race on the street. I mean, I already got a speeding ticket,
But-
so I can't do that.
but
But,
that-
in the video game, I can.
yeah. So what I'm trying to say though is that's where you have to be careful about that line, right? There's technology that you're right is made to enhance your life, and there's technology that's made for entertainment. Technology made for entertainment is making people lazy because rather than a child going outside to play, they're sitting on their ass playing a video game. And I'm not saying video games are
But
bad.
that's not technology's fault. That's the parents' fault.
How is it the parents' fault?
Because if you regulate the time the child spends playing video game, then you take care of that. Now, if you allow him, if a parent uses that technology to as a babysitter, or let me sit him down so I don't deal with him that much, that's the parent's fault. Because if you say, all right, you're only gonna play an hour, and then you spend go play outside for an hour. Once you play outside, literally play outside for an hour, then you can come back and play 30 minutes in the
Let
game
me ask you
or
this.
an hour.
Let me ask you this.
Oh,
If
hold on,
you're-
but
if-
I can actually counter both of you.
okay.
Okay.
Because it's I'm seeing both of your points, but then we're not getting to the question. And I was trying to understand how Sheckman wanted to word it, and it's in general we are relying on technology.
Yes.
We're
I was
relying
gonna
on
get there.
phones.
Yeah. So real quick,
Yeah,
and you can go.
I got this.
No, wait. I want to get there to that point, but we were kind of. I was trying to finish. I just want to finish the conversation about laziness from last week, and that's why that's that.
Okay.
But I do want to get into the actual relying on technology part.
Okay.
I was just trying to make the argument about technology can make you lazy because if I'm the only kid outside playing because everybody else is on their video games, why am I going to be outside playing? Right? When I grew up, I had no choice. Nobody did. We were all outside because there was no other option. Right?
There was Nintendo,
But
there
like,
was Atari.
But listen, like people are even socially lazy because of technology, right? Because they're on their phones. Like literally parents have to have, like you say, yes, it's parenting, but we are so people are so lazy with their phones that instead of sitting down and having a conversation at dinner, they have to literally collect the phone so people aren't on their phones. Like how many times do you walk into a restaurant and see a table of people not
I
talking?
see it all the time.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the lazy part. So and that's fine. Nate, keep going. I just wanted you to understand, like, I just wanted to get that out of the way. So when we go into it, there is a difference, I agree, between technology, like Natasha said, there are great things with technology and bad things with technology, right? Pros and cons.
Yes.
Go ahead, Nate.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, with technology, we are relying. So back to the phone case. Now we used to rely on computers to do the heavy stuff. Now it's like, I don't want to carry this computer. I want everything done on my phone. Case in point, I'm recording. Well, I'm not recording, but I'm streaming through the podcast on this phone because I don't want to use my computer. It's inconvenient. Then when we have to go to work, okay, if there's no internet, we can't do anything. Like, especially where I work, the offices have to go to. If they make a complaint, so to speak, about the internet down, I have to stop whatever I'm doing and go replace that router and make sure that internet's running. Let's say you want to go ahead and exercise, for health reasons. Okay, before it's like, and I got to track my heart rate and make sure my steps are in, my calories are burned. We want to track everything, which in point it does help, but sometimes you just want to run. Like when I had an Apple Watch, it's like, okay, I'm gonna run today. Like I don't care. Now with cars, okay, now we're expecting the cars to have all these sensors, automatic stopping, doing everything for us, even letting us know when we have to do maintenance. Before we didn't need all that. Before we'd be like, okay, it's every 3,000 miles for an oil change, so on and so forth. But now it's, if there's no internet, we just assume everything's dying, everything's chaotic, and we can't do anything. When really, technology is supposed to help enhance our lives, but it's not supposed to control it, so to speak.
Yeah, and speaking of that, right? Gaston can attest to this. We all know Gaston.
If you're a fan of the show and you're a loyal viewer, you know Gaston.
Yeah. So we were driving. I picked him up. We were driving to work. I went to buy some stuff at work. Technology stuff, right? About came back. I was driving back, dropping off in his house, and my car has lane detection, right? For some reason, I'm driving, and then my car just turns to get. I guess I was in between lanes. Right, I guess I was trying to figure out without hitting the mic where to go with my hands.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to I guess I was in between lanes, and my car goes from the left lane to the right lane like that, and I have no power of controlling it. It's like something took over the car, and Gaston's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "What the fuck just happened?" He's like, "I don't know. I thought you were going crazy." And I'm like, holy shit, my lane detection. Something happened with my lane detection, threw my car off to the right lane. And I'm like, luckily the road was empty. Nobody was next to us. Otherwise, I probably would have hit that car. So that's, since you mentioned the lane detection and all that shit, that's even that could, for me, that was a scary moment. So I know how to deactivate it. So I have to just hit the signal.
Let's try to like reel this in a little bit, because I think we're getting into a lot of different areas of the
different
same topic,
times.
Right? And so like let's try to reel it in a little bit. So that way we can try to focus it a little bit more on what we're talking about, right? So I think the first thing we all agree then there's two forms of technology, and this is where we have to ask ourselves. There's the technology that makes lives better. Are we too reliant on that? And there's technology that is literally makes your life worse. And are we too reliant on that? Right. So when you
say worse, what do you mean by worse?
That's what I'm going to get to then. It's back to what I started to bring up in the last episode. Use the movie WALL-E, right? It's the WALL-E epidemic, right? And those of you who haven't seen WALL-E, I'll give you, man, we lost all our viewers. They did not like what we were saying. Sorry. I just like to look at it sometimes and see.
It just hit now.
So let's talk about like the WALL-E movie, right? WALL-E is a movie about how the human race, it had to do with technology, and we polluted the earth and things like that. So we ended up having to leave the earth, and we built these ships and we flew out into space and stuff, which, I know it's not 100% what it is, right? But we relied so much on technology that we stopped doing things for ourselves, and we became very lazy, obese people, right? And so, yes, the earth had other issues because of pollution and stuff like that, which is a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. Don't get me wrong. But people started to not do anything for themselves, right? Because everything for pleasure or for other things was so reliant on technology that we became a race that didn't know how to function without it. You know what I mean? And so that's where we talk about that's what I mean by like leisure stuff, right? When we talk about video games and VR and all this other shit that deconnects us from reality and puts us into and that reliance that in order to entertain yourself, if there is no technology, how are people entertaining themselves even, right? If there's a power outage, if the internet goes down, right? These kids don't know what to do and how to have fun and entertain themselves because it's all reliant on technology, right? Like, have you seen a young kid, when the power goes out, they lose their fucking minds, right? Yeah. Listen, man, you go into a home in today's age, like the kids they're either on their iPads, their phones, their video game consoles. I mean, I'm not saying they're stop playing sports and stuff.
Yeah, they're on the phone with an extra battery pack.
Yeah, you see the kids walking through the stores and they're like, and going places and they're sucked into it, right?
Bro, they walk in the streets like this with their heads down, almost getting hit by cars.
Remember what it was like to go? I mean, you guys might not. Messiah remembers. You probably won't, Nate. But remember family vacations where you had to go on a car trip? And you had to figure out ways to occupy yourselves. Now it's just throw a tablet in their hands. Oh, my car has built-in fucking Wi-Fi, so that way I can keep the kids shut up the entire drive. You lose out on those the stupid games, like the license plate games.
Yeah.
And
or what is it? What I see, something like that.
I Spy.
Or bumper license plates and all that.
Punch Buggy. Remember beating the shit out of people?
Punch Buggy. Yo, I hit my friend so hard.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Hit that.
And so that's that's where I say there's two sides of technology, and are we too reliant? So that's so which side do you guys want to start with?
Well, Nate brought up Phoenix brought up a great point about even companies and other places relying on technology because they can't function without technology. Like if the whole infrastructure of a lot of companies is built on technology, internet, and all that shit. So
well, not only that, but there's also that conversation: is technology putting people out of work? Right? These car companies and manufacturers, they become more automated.
You see the self-drive. I mean, the self-checkouts. McDonald's has it, which I refuse to use. I go straight to the person and be like, yeah, I want to order this. But sooner or later, I'm going to be like, okay, I want this, and that, and just pay.
Yeah, I use the self-checkout. I mean, I use it because it's convenient. Like sometimes I don't want to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
I already know what I want. I want, number one, no pickles. Dr. Pepper, no ice, 2 chocolate chip cookies. We out. Like that's what I want. Now, sometimes if I don't know.
I will say, so when we cut, like there, once again, like some technology is handy, right? Like for instance, I like to order my food on the app before I get there. If I'm going to do fast food, the reason for that is how many experiences have we had where they fuck up your order, right? Because the person doesn't put the button in right. So like, it's a lot easier for me to fucking flip out on you if I know I pushed those buttons right and you got it and you just can't read. Then you misheard me from the well, you guys remember Dane Cook? You guys remember Dane Cook?
Yeah.
Welcome to Burger King, over the Whopper, man. Take your order. Like that whole skit he did. Where do my favorite line in that whole skit is, where do I go? You take the one fucking road to me. What do you mean, where do you go? You go down the block, make a left, go around the bend, come back down, circle the wagon a little bit. Like, oh my goodness. He was hilarious. Back in the day, he was hilarious. Bro. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But yeah, so it's like there's some technology I get, but you know, what I worry about is we rely on more and more, and not only the Wall-E scenario, but what I'm worried about is the Matrix scenario, right? We become we create these artificial intelligence, right? So we don't even have to like program things. They can program themselves because that's how lazy we are as humans. We don't even want to program the computer. AI. Yeah, we want the computer to program itself, right? Because that's just too much work. And then all of a sudden, they start taking over, right? And that is a real thing.
Skynet.
If you give somebody, if you want to give this device the ability to think for itself, why would you not start to think that it's going to think about a different way of doing it? And then the thing about Matrix I love is that we were so reliant on technology, but it was a symbiotic reliance, right? Because we created an environment in the Matrix that the AI and the machines became reliant on us, right? Yep. Which is crazy to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I mean, what do you guys think? Where do you think that there, Phoenix, I'll ask you to start. Do you think there's a situation that we need to draw? Like, where do you think the line needs to be drawn, right, with technology? Do you think there needs to be one? Like, are you okay with automated cars? And like Messiah said, where a car, like you're literally putting your life in your life in the hands of a machine that like you said, what happens if the internet goes down? What happens if there's a blackout? What happens if there's a solar flare, right? Or something happens. Are you okay with that?
So I've actually been asked this question because every time I tell people, oh, I want a Tesla for the full self-driving, they're like, why do you want that? And it's because I want the car to drive itself. I don't want to drive sometimes. So I'm okay with that. But that if I say I'm okay with that, I need to be able to say, okay, I'm okay with the house being automated. I'm okay with everything in my phone being automated. That means I have to be okay with AI as a whole. And it's scary. It's a scary topic out there. I mean, with cars is different because you can still have control, but it's only going to be so long until the companies say, hey, the human factor is now out. You have no control. You're just going to push a button, say where you want to go, the car goes. The reason why Messiah's car jerked to the right in the lane detection is because the computer used the sensor and said, oh, it's about to cross the white line. Now I have to override everything, including Messiah, to force the wheel back. So it basically said, okay, power steering fluid, you're with me. Messiah, you can't do nothing until I say so. And that's what it is.
But that's the thing.
You have to be okay with everything.
So what happens in this scenario, right? Because this is what I worry about, right? What about the scenario where Messiah's driving and he sees something that is life-threatening in front of him, and he goes to avoid it, but the car takes over?
There has to be a fail safe.
There is a
There
fail
has
safe.
to.
I have to.
Yeah,
So,
there
for
has to.
example, the car has collision detection, right? So it automatically brakes. But let's just say it's not me. Somebody's coming towards me, and I'm gonna turn. Right? I have to hit the signal light. If I don't hit the signal light deactivates the lane detection. Right? It allows me to turn without the lane detection saying, "Hey, you're falling asleep. Let me put you back in lane." That's basically why the lane detection was created. For anybody that's like either for people that drive long roads, and it goes back into lane. So the only way to deactivate it is hit the signal light. It's that at that moment it caught me off guard because I was in between lanes, and mind you, it doesn't activate until you 40 miles an hour.
That's fine, but here's my thing. So I get what you're saying, and I'm gonna cut you short because you're going through a long-winded explanation of something that I don't really care about. I'm just gonna be flat out. I'm sorry.
I would be like Peyton Manning.
Yeah. That's Eli that did that, but that's okay.
Oh,
you get that shit wrong anyway.
But
my point is this though. This is my point. I get why it does it, right? I'm not arguing, and I get there's fail safes, but the thing is, you're telling me there's no way in the world that your fail safe malfunctions?
I never said that.
No, I know you didn't.
There's a possible course.
But that's my point, right? And that's what I'm trying to say is that, we get to that point that these, like, for instance, Phoenix brought up this huge thing that kind of sparked something else, right? Phoenix brought up about the car being fully automated, the home being fully automated, everything's fully automated, right? What did you, Nate, or Phoenix, what did you just do for your class before we started?
I had to go through a VPN, go log into my username in school, and I needed to tell the server, hey, I'm going to this web page and I need to make sure that you receive the message, and I got to make sure I see the message.
Cool.
So I had to make sure to say the okay.
Yeah. So you went in and did all that shit. Now you're going to tell me, both of you, that you guys don't fear that people can take over control of that shit? Because that's my problem, right? We're so reliant on technology.
Taking control of what, though?
So you're telling me that there isn't somebody smart enough on this earth to hack into your car and make it do something?
Of course.
A car's already been hacked.
That's my point.
So I mean,
you're okay with people hacking into your home and watching watching Messiah?
That's why I don't have cameras in my house.
Bedroom? I'm just saying.
That's the only way.
I'm just saying
the only way.
But
if they do, they just gotta at least pay a subscription.
But the thing is, Alexa's listening to you unpleasure your wife, right? Like she hears the complaint in the bedroom.
Yeah. They play. They be like, "Is it in
The
yet?"
only way you could stop that,
she can hear us.
You have to know how to stop the hack.
But that's my point. And that nobody does.
But like, okay. So let me ask you a question. Okay, if you're scared of all that, then are you willing to learn about this technology and say, hey, I'm going to do something about it? Because in order for me, let's say you're that hacker, so to speak, and you want to hack my house. Well, then I need to make sure that you can't hack it.
Okay. So here's
that's fine.
But here's my argument to that, right?
Okay.
I love football. I grew up playing football, right? I learned everything there was to know about football. But guess what? I'm still not as good as Peyton and Eli Manning. I'm not good as Rod Woodson. I'm not as good as Lawrence Taylor. I'm not as good as those other people. So I get what you're saying about learning about it, right? But there are certain things, I don't care how much I learn about something. Some people have an innate ability to do things. Hold on.
Okay.
So I could learn all I want about protecting my home. But when I'm talking about the people who are out there to do these things, they know how to break down what I've set up. So it doesn't matter what I do, how much I learn, because there are people who are better than me. That's just the reality of it.
All right. Tasha mentioned something there. Read it out.
What, the latest one?
Yeah.
The
From me, the line
okay.
should be, if I can't sustain myself by doing the most simple thing without the need or use of some form of technology. Okay. So that's her line. So they're like, we have to be able to have some sort of ability to do things on our own. Listen, the idea
to back up what you're saying. So, I mean,
to
answer the question that you're saying, I'm sorry, Phoenix, go ahead.
No, go. It's just it's a different topic.
Here's the way I see it. I always look at it like this, and because people always say, I don't want somebody to hack into my house or somebody spying on me or this, and I'm like, listen, I'm not important enough for somebody put the time into hacking into me, right? Two,
I mean, if they look at your garage and see those two, his and her
it
Benzes,
doesn't matter.
they might
Still
think
not
so.
enough. It's still not enough.
Listen, to somebody who ain't got nothing, that's enough.
Well, if they know what they're doing, then
I'm pretty sure they're not worried about that.
exactly, yeah. So that's one thing, right? If you're really good at it, you're not gonna come after me. You're gonna go after bigger fish, right? And what are they there to hide? Other thing is companies also take they take action on stuff like that. So for example, one of the reasons why I like using Apple is because they value protection, they value all that. Can they be hacked? Yeah, but those people, they have to, for that to happen, you have to be on a different level,
bro.
So companies take action on stuff like that.
But to respond to Natasha, sorry to cut you off, Shaq.
No, you're good.
So if even we can't do the most simplest things, we're human, and we went from wanting instant gratification to now wanting technology to predict what we want. Yeah. So we're as creatures, we're gonna want technology to do it eventually. Mm-hmm. So it's only a matter of time. I mean, there's only so much we can do, because in general, people want, okay, I want to wake up and I want to make sure my coffee's done and my car is ready and I have everything set for my day in my phone and everything's charged. It's not that we don't want the most simplest thing, is that at some point we're gonna want it done for us.
Yeah. So my argument to Mazai is this, though, and this is what he doesn't get. Like, I get what you're saying with the whole Apple security thing. Yeah, that's a gimmick. Okay, understand that. You're telling me you've never been sitting around your phone, talked about something, and then went into an app, whether it was Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah, but that's not a hacker though. That's a software built in to cater to advertisement.
Okay, so my point is, there's somebody behind the scenes picking and choosing how invasive they want to be in your life, right?
But it ain't the company.
That is the company
to do that.
How?
No, you give them permission. Listen,
I don't give Apple permission to listen into my conversation.
Natasha, I got you in a second.
Listen, if you have social media, if you have social media, you already are allowing these companies to track you anyways. So
I do not give anybody permission to listen into my private conversation to give me an advertisement. They're doing it on their own.
When you hit the agreement, do you read the agreement?
I'm not going to read it. That's my point. So
but it's in the privacy.
It's in the privacy agreement.
So what am I going to? So what you're saying is, I have two choices. They're leaving me with two choices.
Yes.
Choice A, they have the right to literally listen into everything I do off my cell phone, or option B, I don't have a cell phone.
Yeah, get a regular phone, like a flip phone or these government phones.
So then you think that's okay? You're okay with that? You think that's
I ain't got nothing to hide.
Okay.
Huh?
I mean, I ain't got nothing to fear.
It's not about having something to fear. It's about the innate rights as a human being. Like, listen, I'm not saying I'm going to go out and break the law, but listen, if I want to talk, because this is the slippery slope we live in, right? Yeah. Everything seems cool now. What hypothetically, and I'm just using this, I know it's a huge hypothetical to say this. Let's say, for instance, Germany won the war, right? Okay? And we're living in a Nazi dictatorship, right? And this technology still came out. And now guess what? The government can listen in and regulate what you say in private. So you're going to sit there and tell me you've never said a single negative thing about your president?
Of course I have.
Well, guess what?
I have to.
That's my point. So guess what? That could be construed as something that's illegal. Because
of course.
There are places in countries on this earth.
That hypothetical scenario is irrelevant to us in this country.
It's not, but it's not, because it's relevant this moment. We don't know what things are going to be like 20 years from now, right? And so what it is you're allowing it to happen today for them to be allowed to do it 20
Listen, we
years
allowed
from now.
that the minute
I know,
we
Natasha,
allowed
I'm
that.
trying.
We allowed that. Go ahead.
When is she over there? The way you're looking.
Yeah,
like, are she sitting with you?
No, really?
I don't know.
Because I had. Well, if you let me speak for 5 freaking minutes, shit. I've been trying to answer her question, and my
What's the
computer's
question?
I'm turning my mic off.
to my right. So, to Natasha's point, yes, we are creatures of habit, and actually to counter with Sheckman about the privacy. So you're gonna tell me you're not gonna open a social media account, because if we're creatures of habit, we're gonna want to be with everybody socially, whether it's virtual or in person. So from there, hold up. But from there, it's okay. If you say no to social media, then that's it. The only way you can interact with people is by calling or finding a way to contact them, which is still as a habit. We're social creatures, but there's no way you're gonna sit here and say, I'm gonna go 10 years without social media, so that way I don't have to talk to my friends, or I don't have to have the government listening onto me. There's no way. It's theoretically impossible.
Okay, so I made sure I raised my hand, so I'm allowed to talk. Okay, number one, Messiah, what social media did I have when we started the show? When I joined with you on your show.
Oh, you only had Twitter.
No, I didn't even have Twitter.
Oh, you didn't?
Nope.
Well, I guess you didn't have no social media.
No social media.
We had to have you
Zero.
create one.
Zero.
Yeah.
I created an Instagram, I created a Twitter, and I'm still not on Facebook because I fucking hate it and I refuse to be a part of it.
But that's just the old person of you in you.
No, it's not. I had all of it, but I realized what it was doing to people's lives. And this is what bothers me about what you said. And Nate, I understand what I mean. It's not that it's you brought it up. I don't mean it like as in you personally. But what bothers me about what you said was that you just said, in order for me to have a life, I have to have social media, right? That's basically what you're saying. For me to have
that's the reality of this time. Yes,
that is not true. That should not be true. That's the problem. That's where we talk about.
You're
that
right.
goes
You're
back
right.
to the topic.
It shouldn't be.
Are we too reliant on technology? If you're telling me the only way to have a social life is through social media, then yes, we are too fucking reliant.
Well, here's the thing. Well, let me ask you this.
Off of it.
Well, let me ask you this. I think when you put it on mute and you unmute it, it ends up creating a crackle effect.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Obviously, we're older, so we grew up where we go outside, we hang out, and we make friends, and we socialize outside. But what he's relating it to what the moment is now. Before we go outside, we text each other. Hey, like for example, when you came down, that you didn't know Nelly was here. When you came down, like where you at? Oh, go inside because his wife should be inside.
Wait, do you know why that is though? Because I didn't look at social media.
Of course.
That's why.
But just because you know, Facebook has 1 billion users, 1 billion. Think how powerful Facebook is.
What they have.
I know you don't care, but you sound like the older gentleman. You sound like the old
that's not
grandpa.
what it's about. That's where you're mistaken. You're misunderstanding what my point is. That's the problem. It's not about age. It's not about whatever that is. I don't have a problem with social media. I'm not trying to say get off my lawn.
Okay.
What my problem is the fact of there was two parts of what the conversation you said, right? I didn't know Nelly was here because I didn't rely on social media every 5 seconds to find out what's going on with all of my friends.
Says the person that posted the picture before getting on the airplane on social media.
Once again, I do it for the show. Fuck off. Okay.
Yeah, but you did it though.
Yeah, because I'm trying to promote the show.
I know, and it's greatly appreciated, and that's one of the things that we're trying to do to help each other out.
Okay.
No.
So, but let me finish.
I need you to continue with it.
So let me finish.
Let him finish.
My point is, do you know? But what I did. So this is where like I say, when we're talking about too reliant, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a phone. Okay.
Yeah.
Meaning, like you said, I texted you, hey, where are you guys at? What's going on? Right? I texted you. I call you. I don't think that's a bad thing.
No,
that's
it's not
social media.
It's not.
What I'm saying though is when Nate says that to interact with people in today's day and age, you like to grow a friendship with people and to be involved in their lives. I have to be reliant on Instagram or Facebook or Twitch or Twitter or
most people do though.
But okay, you're not letting me finish. That's my problem with being too reliant on technology, that our social circle is evolved around technology and not about sending you a picture or texting you a comment or calling you on the phone. That's my problem with technology and being too reliant on it. I don't think it's appropriate that if I want to know what's going on with Nate's life, I have to go to social media to find out. If I really am friends with Nate and I want to know what's going on in his life, we should communicate like human beings. I shouldn't just hear about it on social media. And that's where, like, I get Nate's 100% correct in what he said, but I don't like that. That's the relying on technology part that I have a problem with, because I don't think that's how the world should be.
You're right.
You're right, Sheckman. and you shouldn't. And because Natasha's on your side, so now we actually got a fair fight 2-on-2. We shouldn't be reliant, but we are. You want to go ahead and send me a message to check up on me. Cool. Most people don't. They don't want to because they're like, oh, I don't want to text this person. I don't really care. I want to be seen on the social media that, hey, I'm messaging this person and I want all of you guys to see it. And that's the world we're in when it comes to life and making connections.
That's fine.
Just
but
like
question, but the topic isn't about are we like the world we're in. I know what world we're in.
No.
The topic
You're right.
is,
You're
are
right.
we too reliant on it? And that's what I'm saying.
Okay. I'm answering your question.
Because we are.
How many people out of your friends group actually text you? Like no, like just in general.
Well, first of all, I don't have a friends group.
Okay. Well,
No,
let's assume.
I mean, okay, so I have like, for instance, the people like. So I'll give you an example, a great example, and I know Mazai is going to say, well, that's because you're all the same age group. So I have a guy that
I need you to stay quiet. Like for
I will
on this one.
All right. So I have a buddy who I am friends. I've known since middle school, elementary school actually. Now, straight out, just being honest, me and him hated each other growing up. Absolutely, like we were nemesis. Like this kid made my life a living fucking hell, and I did everything I could to make his life a living hell. We hated each other growing up, but we ran with the same. Like his best friends were my best friends, right? So we were involved in the same group that we always had to hang out and find a way. But then as we became adults and we became older, we put the petty kid shit behind. And he's one of my closest friends. He, out of the people I grew up with and I've known my whole life, he is literally the only person I still talk to. Okay. The only way that we know what's going on with each other's lives is literally through GroupMe, text message, and phone calls.
Okay, now stop right there.
Okay, well, let me put in one caveat because there is a reason behind it though, and it's because of technology. So let me throw this out there.
Okay.
The reason we're so close, though, and I have to sit there and admit it because it would be unfair not to, is because we are in a fantasy football group together. So that keeps us in constant contact. But like today, he called me like 3 times today out of nowhere, and he's telling me about how he's trying to sell his truck. He's using Facebook to do it, right? And there's conversations going on that I had no idea what's going on in his life, but I'm not on Facebook, so I don't follow him. I don't follow his wife on Instagram, right? I don't I follow him on Twitter, but like we don't tweet like that about what our lives are. Like, but we have conversations, we text, that's how we know what's going on with each other is through messaging.
Gotcha. All right. Now we're going to stop that part.
Okay.
Now, on social media, combined with all your accounts, how many of your friends group either DM you, like your stuff, or comment under your post?
Well, you talking
whenever
about,
you do.
Hold on. Are you talking about before I completely alienated myself from social media?
Yes.
Or now?
Yes.
Before?
No, now.
Well, now nobody. Like, I really don't get shit. Like, I'll get like 10 likes.
So then before.
Before it was different. Like, because I was on Facebook before, and I had like hundreds and hundreds of friends on there, right? When I was on Instagram the first time, I had hundreds and hundreds of people. I'd get a lot of likes. When I'd send stuff out, I'd get a lot of likes, right? Very few, almost no DMs. Okay, almost none.
Okay.
But
all right,
I would.
So reason why, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Reason why I bring up this question is because at the end of the day, we use social media to find stuff out about people. More people are willing to just go on social media every 5 minutes or every hour and say, and just be like, oh, Sheck Monster is doing this, he's doing that. But they're not willing to reach out to you, which comes down to the question. We are too reliant on technology because we don't really care in terms of the meaningful portion. We just want everybody else around us or around the world to say, I want people to know that I'm reaching out to this person.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's the whole point I was trying to get at.
All right.
I do it. I do it. I rely on Facebook, and I don't go on it as much only but to promote ourselves, right? But I go on it to keep up with my family because I don't hardly keep up with my family. It's kind of fucked up, right? But except for my nuclear family, like my sister, my son, except for them. But everybody, my extended family, I know what's going on in their lives because through social media, they put it there themselves.
So Tasha brings up a good point.
She's going,
So and here, because we do need to wrap this up. Bottom line,
yes.
I need everybody to answer this question. And Tasha, thank you for doing it. So ultimately, yes or no? Are we too reliant on technology? Phoenix, go.
Yes,
Messiah, go.
we are.
Yes.
100%, without a doubt, equivocally, yes. Too reliant on technology. So that's a yes across the board. All right. Do we have fuck out of here's this week? Because we got to wrap it up.
Yes.
We do.
I
I
got
have
one.
too many, but I'm good.
Oh, wait.
What's going on,
nope.
guys?
Shit. My bad.
Wrong intro.
Yeah, no, that was Natasha from before. I was looking. Fuck! You guys got me twisted.
You got
All
the
right, so
intro.
before I
done,
could even
Elise?
announce it, the intro went. I apologize about that. My
Okay.
buttons got all messed up. Between the glass I finished and this shit heated me up. I'm literally, it's like 50 something degrees in New Jersey right now. And so I'm like in sweats. But this
Global
shit
warming,
gets
bro.
me
I'm telling you.
No, but this shit got me so fucking heated. Like I'm sweating right now. Like, god damn. And Nate's getting better at
That
this,
lit.
and so he's starting to aggravate me
Hey.
sometimes, which I like because he's starting to get you can see
Yeah.
Phoenix. He's starting to get a little bit more comfortable in his own skin on the show wise, not in life.
Yeah.
But he's starting to get a little bit. He's like, "Yo, shut the fuck up. Let
He's
me
here
talk."
for the battle,
Yeah.
bro. He's
Yeah,
like, hold
like,
up, bro.
Bro, cause
Hold
it's
up,
like
let
20
me
minutes straight of
finish.
just me.
I know,
Like,
and
bro,
that's
I
what I'm
wanna
saying.
speak.
I love it. I love it. So it's a little, I'm starting to
He's
get a
not
little
used
bit
to it. That's what it is.
No,
He's
'cause it's
not
usually
used to
just
it.
me and Messiah, and so like
Yeah.
it's easy with Messiah. Like I just fucking destroy him. Nate, like he actually can bring up some good points. I'm like, fuck, man. All
Yeah.
right, let me.
I did have help from Natasha, so
That's
I was
true.
able to like interject with it. So, but next week we're gonna continue.
We
But
don't
let's
even know what
continue
next
with
week
this.
is, so that's all right.
I have no
All right,
idea. We'll
so
figure it
who's
out.
up first, Lewis?
I'll go up first.
All
Fuck
right,
it,
go
yeah.
ahead.
So the intro already happened, right?
Yes.
Okay. So my fuck out of here is this, right? So I have a company that comes in and they put ground, take care of my lawn as far because it was kind of brown on one side. So I hired a company. The guy goes, okay, $75 to take care of it a month. I'm like, cool, right? I only think about it monthly, right? So then they come in. I got some nice landscaping with shells in the back, right? So they spray it and all that, and it gets all stained. And I'm like, fuck, man, look at this. They're destroying my shelves. So I call them and they take care of it. Then also my dog gets the chemicals on his feet and he licks his paws a lot. So I told him, hey, can we stop doing this? First of all, we got to clean the seashells that we got in the back because you guys sprayed all over this shit. Instead of spraying the grass, you spray over that. And they're like, cool. All right. And I go, and could we not spray the backyard anymore? All right, cool. It's going to be only. I'm like, so what's the new total? They're like, oh, it's only be $10 difference. I'm like, what? Fuck out of here. $10
What
difference.
the fuck?
He's like, oh, it's gonna be $65 for the sides in the front. I'm like, nah, fuck that. Hell no. So I started comp shopping and all that. So my fuck out of here is this. So $75 to take care of the front and the back, and only $65 so to take care of the front and the sides only. Fuck out of here. I'm not paying that shit. I'm already looking for a new company. I'm out.
I got a question. How big
Okay.
is your backyard?
I got a 30 by 14 size pool. And I still got space for grass and all and landscaping.
I'm just
Really
like,
not-
I don't disagree with you, what you're saying. I don't want you to think I am. I'm just like, because I think that's a little ridiculous, only a $10 difference. But like,
It
some
is.
people's backyards aren't huge, so it's like it's not.
Well,
like,
it's not that huge though.
That's my point. So if it's not that huge, I get where they're saying that you're really paying for the other part of it. They're just kind of throwing in the backyard at the end of the day.
Yeah, but $10 is really too much. I just
No, I'm
found- I
not
always
disagreeing.
thought-
I'm not
Yeah, yeah.
disagreeing. That's why I was just curious, though. Like, what's the size of the
But
backyard?
then I called them. But check this out. But then I called them to let them know, hey, you guys still didn't come up here and clean it. We did agree to do the front and the side. But the invoice you sent me says the front and the side, but you're still charging me $75. I need a new paper. I need a new quote saying the front and the side for $65 since we agreed to that. And I'm thinking of going with somebody else because I think you guys are expensive for that, for just the front and the side. Can you believe she ignored the whole front and the side, the price point, didn't even entertain it? She goes, we'll send somebody to clean up the backyard.
What the fuck?
I'm like, fuck out of here.
That's insane.
What do you got,
I
Phoenix?
do that
You
shit
got
myself
anything?
then instead.
I do have one.
All right, because we're
And it's
running.
on
We're running. Go ahead.
cryptocurrency.
Go ahead.
Basically, I was in the middle of a transaction over the weekend. I'm not gonna say the amount. And
$10
What I
billion.
I was doing something like to help make the account grow, but it was really reliant on Bitcoin. And it's so funny how this is the topic. So the moment I hit transaction confirm, Bitcoin went back and forth on the price, which affected what I was trying to do. So fuck out of here to Bitcoin, almost making me lose this shit. But that's
All right. I'm going to skip mine because we are way over time. I like Monster Weekend Sports is becoming a bigger topic than I expected. And then we're fucking going in on one topic. Like we're just, I love it. I love it though. It's a good thing, the problem to have. But we're already into like a minute 4. So it's time for the outro. I want to thank Phoenix for stepping up and trying to battle me. I still won. Messiah, you can't win at anything.
barely.
That's fine.
You had Natasha to help on this one, but I'll give you that one.
Messiah never wins anyway, so
you know what we should do? Before we end up real quick, we should have Tasha live with us.
If she wants to, she can come on. Ain't nobody stopping her.
What's up, bro?
Tasha, hit us up. You want to join? You want to be our fourth for a week?
Do one episode with us.
Yeah, let's do. Tasha, you could be our guest. You could be our guest. Hit us up. We'd love to have you on. That'd be our first female, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because we tried to have one before and she backed out on us.
Yep.
All right, Natasha said for shizzle, my nizzle, it's off the hizzle. It's the big Nate Dizzle. All right, let's go. We out.
Yeah.
Yo.